Good morning, students. Today we are going to start our new chapter, that is chapter number 7, Getting to Know Plants. Plants are usually grouped into herbs, shrubs, trees, creepers, and climbers. So, plants are classified as herbs, shrubs, trees, creepers, and climbers. So, first is trees. These are big plants which have a tall and strong stem which is called as trunk. So this is a tree and this brown part is known as trunk. They are tall and have strong stem. Stems have branches in the upper part much above the ground, and they have the stem, and these stem have branches on the upper part. These trees live for many years. They have a very long lifespan. For example, mango, neem, banyan, coconut, etc. So these trees have long trunk and they have many branches. They have a very long lifespan, and there are many examples of trees such as mangoes, neem, coconut, banyan, etc. Next are herbs. Herbs have soft, green, and weak stems. For example, rice, wheat, maize, sunflower, mint, and etc. So these are herbs. They have very weak and green stem. These are the green stems which are very weak, and they are called herbs. There are many examples of herbs like rice, wheat, maize, sunflower, and you have seen a very common example of herb at your home, that is tulsi. Next are shrubs. Shrubs, they are bushy and have hard stem that do not bend easily. These are the plants with the stem branching out near the base. For example, lemon, jasmine, China rose, nerium, etc. So these are the shrubs, and they are bushy and have hard stem. They do not bend very easily. And there are many examples of shrubs that are uh, lemon, jasmine. You have seen rose at your home. Some of you may have. And there are many more examples of shrubs you have seen. So next is climbers. Climbers have weak stem and cannot stand. They take the support of other trees and climb on them. So this is the example of a climber. They have weak stem and they cannot stand erect. They take the support of other trees. See, like here, they take the support of this and climb on them. That is why they are known as climbers. Next are creepers. Plants which creep on ground and spread out are known as creepers. For example, pumpkin and watermelon. So this is an example of a creeper. Those plants which creep on the ground and spread out are known as creepers. For example, pumpkin, watermelon, etc. Next is classification of plants on the basis of their life cycle. First is annual plants. Plants whose life cycle is completed in one season. Those plants whose life cycle is completed in one season are known as annuals. These are generally herbs, and the examples are wheat, mustard, tulsi, etc. Next is biennials. Plants whose life cycle requires two seasons for completion are known as biennials. For example, carrot, radish, and potato. Next is Perennials, plants whose life cycle runs for more than two seasons. Whose life cycle run for more than two seasons are known as perennials. For example, guava, babool, and palm trees. They have a life cycle of more than two seasons. That is why they are known as perennials. So here the plants are classified on the basis of their life cycle. Next is parts of a plant. Plant is divided into two systems. Number one is root system and number two is shoot system. So the the plant the part of a plant which is below the ground is known as root system and which is above the ground is known as shoot system. So number one is root system. The roots and its branches make up the root system. In root system, the roots and its branches constitute root system of a plant. Root is the underground part of a plant body. It is non-green. The part of the plant which is below the ground is root. The root grows into the soil and away from the light, and the roots grow in the soil and away from the light. The roots are of two types. Number one is taproot and number two is fibrous root. So first is taproot. It is formed by the baby root or radicle which comes out from a germinating seed. It is the main primary root arises from the lower end of the stem. A number of tiny branches arises are called secondary roots. For example, mustard, neem, rose, etc. So this is an example of a taproot. This is the main root which is known as primary root also, and these small roots are secondary roots. There are many more examples of taproots such as mustard, neem, rose, etc. And this taproot is formed by the baby root which comes out from a germinating seed. Next is fibrous roots. A bunch of roots arises from the base of the stem are called fibrous roots. For example, wheat, maize, etc. This is an example of a fibrous root. These are the bunch of roots arises from the base of stem. There are several uh, roots arises from the base of this stem. They are in bunch and these are known as fibrous roots. In taproot there is a main primary root, but in fibrous root there are several small roots or several bunch of roots arises. So this is an example of a fibrous root and this is an example of a taproot. Now the functions of root system. Root absorb water and nutrients from the soil. Root absorb water and nutrients from the soil. Root helps the plant to stand erect. It also helps the plants to stand. Roots check soil erosion. It also check the soil erosion. Roots store food. Roots also store food for the plant. Next system is shoot system. The parts of the plant which grow above the soil is known as a shoot system. The shoot system includes stems, leaves, buds, branches, flowers, fruits, and seeds. And all of these have different functions. So let's revise in brief. Plants are grouped into herbs, shrubs, trees, creepers, and climbers. These are trees having a strong trunk, having a very long lifespan. These are herbs, they have weak stem and green stems. They are shrubs, they have strong uh, stems but they do not bend easily. They are climbers, they need support to climb up. And they are creepers which creep on the ground and spread out. So all these are the classification of plants. One more classification is here, the classification of plants on the basis of their life cycle. The first is annual plants whose lifespan is completed in one season. Biennials whose life cycle require two seasons for completion. And third one is perennials whose life cycle require more than two seasons. The examples of annuals are wheat and mustard. Examples of biennials are carrot, radish, and potato. And the examples of perennials are guava, papula, and palm trees. Now the next is part of a plant. It is divided into two systems, root system and shoot system. Root system includes roots and its branches, and the shoot system. These roots are also of two types, tap roots and fibrous roots. These are the tap. This is a tap root and this is a fibrous root. There are many functions of root system. They absorb water and nutrients from the soil, help the plants to stand erect, check soil erosion, store food. Now the next system is shoot system, which include the part of the plant which grow above the soil constitute shoot system. It also includes stems, leaves, buds, branches, flowers, fruits, and seeds. And they all have different functions which we will discuss in our next video. So thank you and see you in the next video.